Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. It has been a very long time. But I have the day to myself today. My kids are at summer camp. I am just home with my little puppy, which I will show you in a second. And I thought this is my chance. Oh, she's shaking the tripod. This is my chance to finally sit down and film, if she will let me. We'll see. She's been very chill all day, and now all of a sudden whenever I want to do something, she wants to play. That's the way it goes, right? But this is Winnie. Say hi. If you're new here, my name is Michaela. I live in a small town in North Carolina with my husband and our 3 kids and our kitty cat Cooper and our puppy Winnie. If you are returning, welcome back. Thanks for still being a subscriber even though I've been gone for so long. I'm really bad at social media, basically. I'm really bad to not be active on Instagram as well. It's just the season of life that I'm in. My kids are all young. I stay at home with them. We homeschool. We are very busy. So yeah, I have still been knitting, not as much as I used to. I will say that as my kids have gotten a little older, they have become more independent, of course, but they also are climbing up in grades in school, and that requires more time, homeschooling. So I have not been knitting as much as I used to, but I'm still knitting. It's something I will never stop doing. So I don't have a ton to share, but I have enough. So yeah, I hope you'll stick around. We will start with what I am wearing, which is my most recent finished object. This is the Dew Tee by Fiber Tales. I will stand up and show you. I've got to remove the puppy from my lap. Okay, I'll pick you back up in just a second. So this is a little cropped tee with a scalloped crochet edging all around. This is what really makes it, in my opinion. I love this. And then it's got the little tie on the neckline. The sleeves are just kind of a rolled I-cord, and the neckline is also an I-cord. I will say I had some trouble with picking up this I-cord because it was wanting to kind of bunch before I blocked it. After I blocked it, it's okay. But I have to keep it kind of stretched out right here or it will start to bunch because these stitches were tighter than this. But it all worked out. I love this. I knit this in, I actually have notes this time. I knit this in King Cole Cotton Soft DK in Honey. And I actually really like this cotton yarn. Some cotton yarns I'm not a huge fan of because they can tend to not be super soft. But this one I really enjoy. I'm actually using the same yarn in a different color for another project, which we will see in a moment. And I knit this size 2. I was kind of torn. Oh my gosh. She keeps rocking the tripod. I'm sorry. She's busy now. She's got a toy. I was torn between size 1 and 2 because my measurements fall in between. But when that happens, I always go for the bigger because you can wear something even if it's a little oversized, but if it's just too small, it's too small. And I used to always make the mistake of knitting the smaller, and now there are many items that my daughter now has because they no longer fit me. So yeah, that was a lesson learned. I always go with if I'm in between, I go up. And it worked out perfect because it's the perfect fit. It's a boxy tee, but it drapes nice. So I love it. And I love to layer it over dresses and skirts. I made it cropped, but not too cropped. I could wear it with jeans or shorts if I wanted. But I made it just cropped enough that I can wear it over a dress or with a skirt and it doesn't give that like frumpy look, if you know what I mean. I feel like some people can pull off like the long shirts with a dress and look great, but with my body it just doesn't work. I don't know why, but it just doesn't look right on me. But this is the perfect length for doing that, for layering, which I may have to take it off here in a little bit because I had to turn my air conditioner off while I film, and it's getting a little toasty in here. It is summer. Okay, so next up, I will start with the oldest projects. This is one, I don't even know if I showed it on the last episode as a work in progress. It might have been that long. I don't know. I know I talked about it, but I don't know if I had even started yet. But this is the Esther sweater. I don't know why I said that so funny. Esther sweater by Petite Knit. I am obsessed with this sweater. I haven't got to wear it a ton. It's kind of like blowing out the color. I haven't got to wear it a ton because I finished it kind of at the tail end of winter. I've worn it a few times, but I know that this coming fall and winter, I'm going to be living in this because no ma'am, no ma'am. Uh-oh. I've created a monster. Nope. Drop it. Good girl. So yeah, I haven't got to wear it a ton, but I know I will get tons of wear out of it this coming fall and winter season because I knit it in a neutral color. If you've been here for a while, you'll know that I am just like naturally drawn to colors, but I'm finding that I don't get to wear a lot of my knits as often as I would like because I have a hard time pairing them with things. So I made it a goal to still do some colorful things, maybe more in accessories because I do love color, but when it comes to a garment, I want to try to incorporate more neutral tones so that I have more options when it comes to wearing them, because I would love to be able to just have, or to be able to wear something that's handmade every day, whether it's a cardigan or an accessory or a scarf, or, you know, I would like to be able to pick from a selection and it work. So that's my goal, which you will see. Everything this episode is pretty neutral. Starting with this was neutral, and this is neutral. So about this pattern, I knit the smallest size, and I almost didn't. I almost knit the size up until someone messaged me and said, hey, Petite Knit patterns are they have a lot of positive ease included. So take that into consideration when you pick a size. And I'm really glad that I followed that person's advice, because if I would have knit the next size up, I think it would have not given me the look that I wanted. I didn't want this to be a super baggy sweater, but I did want it to be cozy and comfy, which it is. And the all over texture is just my favorite. It's blowing out really bad for some reason. Also, I love the rolled neckline. I just think that's such a nice touch on a sweater. Now, the only problem I had with this pattern, and it's not a fault of Petite Knit. What is that? Puppies. They chew on everything. Is that when you pick up your stitches for your sleeves, if you'll notice here on the back, I wish it wasn't blowing out so bad. There's like a seam that goes down the back of the shoulder and then continues down the arm. You can see it there. So when you pick up your stitches on your sleeves, you have a certain amount of stitches that are moss stitch here, and then you have your pattern and then more moss stitch on the other side. And you have to line up this seam with the shoulder seam. And if you pick up your stitches at the rate that is suggested, you don't, at least in my case, the seam stitch did not line up, not even close. And here's the problem. I didn't know to be paying attention to that until I finished a sleeve. Finished a whole sleeve, took a look at it and thought something's not right. And then I noticed the seams were completely, like, they were probably like 10 stitches apart, not even close. So for a while I thought, is that gonna drive me nuts? And yes, it would, because it looked very out of place. So I had to rip out the whole sleeve, and it was It was honestly really upsetting because I had been working on this for so long that it set me back a lot. But I'm glad that I went back and fixed it because now it is perfect and I probably wouldn't wear it if I didn't fix it. So if you decide to knit this pattern, just be mindful of that and try to pick up your stitches accordingly so that they will line up with your seams. And this yarn is, what was it? Lion Brand Wool Ease in the color Fisherman. So it looks white on camera, but it's definitely more of a creamy, it almost has like a yellow undertone. Can you see her poking her head up over there? No. And I actually really like it. It's not stark white, but it's very obviously neutral because it's a cream color. But it's still interesting because of all the texture. I think this might be my first, no, I was gonna say my first all over texture sweater, but that's not true. I knit the Aosta a few years ago and that's all over texture. But it didn't feel as bad because the needles were really big. This was knit on a much smaller needle. I wanna say it was like a 6. I can't remember. It's whatever the pattern recommends. I was able to get gauge. So yeah, that's my Esther sweater. Oh, another thing I really like about it is the really long ribbing at the bottom. I like that a lot because it makes it, I don't know, it just feels more relaxed, more of a relaxed fit, and the sleeves are the same. They have a pretty long ribbing. This color is really washing out on the camera. The light is just not cooperating with this one. Okay, next up, I have the cutest socks ever. They're a little dirty, so forgive me, but I have worn them. These are the Eggs for Easter socks by Stone Knits. How cute are those? Look at the little chickens. If you don't know, we have chickens. We have 8 chickens, and then there's an egg on the toe. I love the little egg on the toe. So cute. I knit this using Knit Pick Stroll for the main color. I can't remember what it was called. I can't remember. But then the other colors were just scraps that I had, fingering weight scraps. And they turned out really stinking cute. I love them. I had to go back and redo this colorwork section, I think 2 times, because I couldn't figure out what needle and stitch count would give me the right fit, and I couldn't tell you now what I did. I'm pretty sure I just followed the directions and went up a needle size and increased a few stitches on the colorwork portion. And as you can see, you can tell there's like a little extra room in that section. It kind of goes out a little bit, but it was necessary to fit over my ankle. I think I have a pretty high instep, so I have to watch colorwork, make sure that it's going to fit over that part of my foot. And they do. This yarn is so soft, the Knit Pick Stroll. This was my first time working with it. I had bought, it's not my first time, sorry, I made some Christmas socks last year, which reminds me, I think the last time I filmed was before Christmas, so you may not have even seen those socks. I may have to go grab those because they're really pretty. Anyways, I ordered some Knit Pick Stroll. I got quite a few skeins of just some neutral colors to have in my stash for socks, and I really like it. They're very, very soft. I don't know how it holds up yet because I haven't got enough wear out of either pair, but so far I love the feel of it. So, Eggs for Easter. Okay, I had to take my little sweater top off because it is hot in here. It's cotton, but still, it's without the air conditioner on, and this light, it's pretty warm, pretty toasty. Okay, so the next things that I have are works in progress. And then I may go run downstairs and grab my Christmas socks to show you. I can't believe it's been that long. But I just checked my last video before I started filming and it said 8 months ago, so that would have been before Christmas. Right before Christmas. This next pattern is another pair of socks. These are the Petal Drop socks by Florence Miller. And it's another Knit Pick Stroll yarn in the color Dove Heather. They look itty bitty. This is an all over texture sock. They look tiny, of course, but they stretch so much because of all of those holes and all the texture. These are so beautiful, and they are going to be the coziest winter socks. So, so cozy. I can just already tell by how squishy they are. The pattern so far, I haven't been working on it consistently enough, like daily, to where I have the pattern memorized. It's basically memorized. I get a little mixed up on the few rounds where you are doing your like knit two togethers and SSKs. There are, because they flip-flop. So I don't have it totally memorized, but I have it on my phone, and these are just what I take with me when we go places, and I can pull it up and, you know, figure out what row I'm on and get it done. But I do want to finish these before the summer is over, or before we're too far into fall, because I would love to get a lot of wear out of these this fall and winter. I plan on making them a little taller than I typically make my socks, because I want to wear these with boots mainly. So yeah, I've got a ways to go. This is just the first one. And I'm knitting these on my double pointed needles. I've learned that I actually really prefer these for socks. I go much quicker. And these are 2.25 millimeter. Now the cast on stitches for this pattern, I usually do a 64 stitch cast on for my socks, but this had two different options. And I want to say I could count my stitches, but I think I went with the smaller one because there's so much stretch. If you want to know, I can count the stitches, but I'm not going to do it right now. Okay, so there's that. My next work in progress is the one that I'm working on the most right now. Let me grab it. It was kind of out of reach. I had to put everything kind of far back on the couch where Winnie could not reach it because she loves yarn. I have learned that. Okay, so this is the, not really sure how to pronounce it. This is the Quetzal top by Rachel Brockman. And this is a tank top that I've had in my queue for quite a while now. I'll post a picture of it here so you can see what it will look like finished. This is a pattern that is knit, it's a free pattern, first of all, which is always nice. And it is knit in 2 panels, and then the panels are sewn together. So I have finished one panel. This is what it looks like. The whites are just not working on camera today. But as you can see, it's an all over little cross texture. I just have both of my sleeves on this stitch holder. It almost looks like a cute little halter top right now. But I did knit this one to the length that it suggested because this is a tank top that I will most likely wear with skirts over, and so I want it to be long enough to tuck in without it coming out all the time. Because if there's anything that drives me crazy, it's that. Any cute top that I have bought from a store is always a little cropped, which is cute when you want it cropped, but then when I want to tuck it into something, it's just, you only have like ½ an inch of fabric to tuck in. So yeah, my husband's calling. I better answer. Okay, he was trying to text me and I wasn't texting back, obviously, because I'm filming, and he was worried. But anyways, back to this. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, I was talking about how a lot of tops you can't tuck them in properly because they're too short, and then they will just come untucked. I think I moved the tripod a little bit whenever I answered the phone. Whoop. Okay, so yeah, I've finished the first panel and I am now working on the second panel. Oops. There we go. I have the pattern memorized, so I don't have to pull it up every time until I get to the shaping up here. I hope to have this finished pretty soon. This is my main project right now. If you've been here a while, you know that I am really bad to have like 7 projects going at a time, but I have really calmed myself down with that. I do have a lot of whips that are just like sitting off to the side that I haven't really touched lately, but as far as actively working on, I've done a pretty good job at keeping that minimal, which is pretty helpful, honestly, because my brain lately is just crowded with life and it's just a lot to keep up with. So that is my Quetzal top. Oh, and I forgot to say, I'm knitting that with the same yarn that I knit my Dew tee that I was wearing, but in the color Ecru. Where did it go? No, sorry. Yeah. Where is it? There it is, Ecru. It's a DK weight King Cole cotton. And I knit, what size did I pick on that? I'm pretty sure I knit the size 2. That's one thing I forgot to put on my notes. I think I'm doing the size 2. Almost positive. Okay, so let me go grab my Christmas socks that I finished since I totally forgot about them. I'm trying to rack my brain and remember if there's anything else that I have finished since the last time I came on here, but it's been so long that my brain just can't even go that far. But I'm pretty sure you haven't seen those. So I'm gonna go grab those and I'll be right back. Okay, I got them, and as I walked down into my bedroom, I noticed this scarf that you also haven't seen finished, so I grabbed it too. Okay, so first up are these Christmas socks. Gosh, they're so pretty. I forgot about them. I don't remember the name of them. I will put it down here, and all the patterns will be linked in the description as usual. But you can see it's got really pretty little holly berries. And then this is, I don't know if you can see, it's striped between the red and, there we go, the red and the green, with the green heel and toe. These are Knit Picks Stroll as well. You can tell I've worn these because there is some stuff stuck on the bottom of the heel. There's no telling what it is. So yeah, I loved these. They went really quick because you're switching your color every round, and it's, you guys know with color work, it's like, oh, let me just go one more round. And so before you know it, they're done. So finished those, and then I also finished this scarf number 19, I believe. I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I looked at the name, but it was by My Favorite Things. I think I showed you guys where I was working on it last time. It's been finished for a while. I think I finished it in like February, and I got a lot of wear out of it, and I will continue to get a lot of wear out of it because although it is colorful, it's red. Red can be a really nice pop of color, and well, let me show you the texture first. This took me way longer than it should have because it's a very small little scarf, but I couldn't memorize the pattern. I probably could have, but it was a series of like 9 rows, and they were very similar but just slightly different, so it would throw me off. So I had to always keep track of every row, so that kind of prolonged the time I was working on it. But I love this. It's the perfect length for doubling like that and then tying like that. But then you can also, I think I've done it the other way too. Also do this and then just tie a little knot like that. I like it better the other way, but this is cute too. So yeah, that's my scarf number 19. I would love to make another scarf similar, maybe not this exact pattern because there's so many options out there. I would love to mix it up a little bit, but I have so many skeins of fingering weight yarn in such beautiful colors that need to be made into something, and I think some accessories would be perfect for those. So that's on my list to make some more scarves this coming fall and winter. Now, it just dawned on me that I forgot to mention any of my sewing projects because I have been sewing and I have sewn myself a skirt and a dress. So I'm also gonna go grab those and then I will be back again. I am back. Okay, so first up, I can't remember which one I made first actually. So my daughter's birthday was in June, and she is just like her mama. She loves to wear dresses and skirts, and she's just very girly, and I love that. So I made us some matching skirts out of I don't want to say a bed sheet. It was almost like a quilted bed skirt that I found at the thrift store. So the part that went on the bed was quilted, so I had the quilted batting on it, but then it had ruffles all the way around the side. So what I was able to do, Winnie, girlfriend, go get your chew toys. Go get your chew toys. So I was able to cut off all of the batting, which took me like 3 hours. It was pretty labor intensive, but I was determined. And my daughter was at summer camp at the time, and so, or maybe not summer camp. Yeah, she was at summer camp with my husband. My husband helps out at this summer camp as part of his job. He works at a family ministry, so they help out with the summer camp. So my daughter got to go with him, and I thought that I could just surprise her with it when she got home. So I sat on the floor and I ripped the seams of all of this quilted batting. In my mind, I thought that it would only be sewn around the edges, but then as I looked at it, and duh, because it was quilted, the pattern was stitched on through the batting, you know? So I had to go through and remove all of that. It was a lot, but it was worth it because then I didn't have to do a lot of work because I took advantage of the ruffle already being around the bottom of the sheet, and I used that as the ruffle on our skirts. So this is my skirt. Let me unravel it. Okay, so that's the top, it's elastic, and then this is what was already, so this is where the ruffle started. This was quilted, so I had to cut this out, and then this down was just what would hang off the bed. So I didn't have to do any of that. Made it super easy. I just had to cut out my size basically, and then what I did was I sewed, I don't know if you can see if I can pull it apart a bit. So I sewed probably about a 1/2 inch from the edge, sewed that down so that I would get a little ruffle at the top of the elastic, and then I did a thick elastic band under that. So when I wear it, it's not just like the elastic and then it's just like tight. So I have a little bit of the fabric coming up from the elastic. Just has a better look, I think. And I decided to do that because of a skirt that I have that is sewn that way. I thought that was a good idea. So yeah, and I made hers. Hers was a little different. I don't think hers has the double ruffle because obviously she's not as tall as me. So I had to almost cut hers to about here. So she just has the bottom ruffle, but we have matching skirts. We wore them to church, and I just love that she still likes to match with me. And I still have so much of this fabric left. I don't think I showed you an up close of the print. And it is cotton, which I'm always striving to, well, I won't say always, but here lately I'm really striving to wear more natural fibers. I find that I'm more comfortable in them, and yeah, I just like them better. And so that was a huge plus for this. And I have so much of this fabric left that I am thinking I'm going to make Miss Winnie here a little bandana neckerchief for the 4th of July, which is this Friday, because it's red, and then she can match with me and my daughter. It's like having a baby all over again, or having a toddler in the house. You have to watch that she's not putting things in her mouth. She's giving me the puppy dog eyes now because I won't let her chew on the carpet. I'm sorry. Okay, the next thing that I have sewn was actually a pattern, and I found this pattern because of a dress that I own from a brand called Christy Dawn. I found it on sale sometime last year, and it's one of my favorite dresses. I love the fit of it. It's very comfortable, but it's also very feminine. And I don't remember how I came across this sewing pattern, but it is basically the exact same dress. But the Christy Dawn dress is pretty expensive. This one, I ordered a vintage bed sheet off of eBay for 20 bucks. Bought the pattern, which I think was like $14. Made the dress for $35. And couldn't be more happy. It also came with other options, but I'll talk about that in a minute. It's called the Aronia house dress. Can't remember the designer, but I will put that here. So here she is. Let me get her. Oh, hang on. One moment. Let me tie the drawstring. Okay, so this is an old Martha Stewart bed sheet from the 90s, which is so nice. Beautiful. It's cotton. Okay, so it is a little faux wrap dress with puff sleeves and a drawstring, and this is like a midi length, so it hits me about mid shin. Mid-calf, I think is the proper way of saying that. This is the first time that I have followed a sewing pattern with my all-out best effort, because I really wanted this dress, and I think I'm hooked. And my machine actually held up. I have a really old machine. I did have to do some of this by hand, like sewing in the little waistband from the inside. On the video tutorial, she does it with her machine, but my machine lays flat into the sewing table. It's not one that is like lifted up and you can slide something over it like an ironing board. It's all flat, and so it was just really hard to get in there with that, so, and at least to keep the line straight. So what I did was I went through and I hand sewed that part just to get my line down, and then I went in with my machine very meticulously and fixed it. So yeah, it's hard to really see much about this on camera because you can't see the whole thing, so I'll put a picture of me wearing it over here. If you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen it. But I am really excited to make more of these because it was such an easy process, because she has video tutorials to go along with the written instructions, which is almost necessary for me because I'm not super great at understanding the written instructions for sewing. More recent patterns, they do a better job of explaining, but like the old school, like Simplicity or McCall's patterns that are just like in the little pouch, those make hardly any sense to me. So this was really nice, and it came with options, different sleeve options. It came with the option to do drawstring or elastic. It came with different lengths. It came with one that you can add a ruffle to the bottom. All kinds of options. So I have plans to, if I can find, I'm gonna search at thrift stores first, but if not, I may order some nice fabric. I would love to find some thicker cotton that I could use to make a long sleeve version for winter. I'm almost leaning towards like a flannel fabric to have it be really warm, because here lately I've just really been loving dresses and skirts. I have worn shorts one time in the last like month and a half, and I was very uncomfortable. I'm finding, especially in the summer, like a dress is the perfect thing. It keeps me cool. My clothes aren't like sticking to me. I don't feel restricted. And I feel like they're a bit more modest. Some are not, of course, but my style typically is. So I'm just really enjoying dresses and skirts, but I don't have a lot of options in the winter. I have a few long sleeve dresses that are pretty warm, but if I want to continue this streak, I will need some more in my wardrobe, along with some knit cardigans, which are in my future plans. So I do plan to make another one with the long sleeve version, probably with elastic and not the drawstring, just to switch it up a little bit. But beautiful pattern. Oh, I didn't even show the back. The back is also really nice with the ruffles here. Not ruffles, but the gathers. The sleeves, I chose the sleeve that went with this style, but the sleeve was almost like to here on me, and because it's a puff sleeve, it was very puffy, and I wanted this to be more of a casual dress, and that was kind of pushing it up to more of a like church dress, that kind of vibe. So I had already finished the sleeve, and then I was like, I don't really like how big the puffy sleeve is, so I cut it off almost to the armpit and redid it and made them shorter. It keeps them from puffing too much, and I just really like it. It turned out exactly how I wanted, and yeah, I love it. I am really getting better at my sewing, and that's exciting because maybe one day I'll have a fully handmade wardrobe. We'll see. So that's all I have for today. Like I said, it's not a ton. Life and kids have just kept me so busy, and now a puppy, which I'm sure you guys know, a puppy is a lot of work. So I've had my hands full. We've only had her for, I don't know, 5 days now. It's Tuesday, we got her on Friday. So we're just now kind of like getting into a routine, getting adjusted, getting comfortable, and yeah. So we're having a lot of fun though. I love her so much. I have dreamt of having a corgi my whole life. When I was little, I would get on our desktop with dial-up internet and go to puppyfinder.com and just look at pictures of corgis. And I always just thought like, oh, I'll never have a corgi. But with much pleading, I talked my husband into it, mainly because our kids are at the age now where they can treat a pet such as a puppy with more responsibility, if that makes sense. And I really wanted our kids to grow up with a family pet. There's just something special about that. Just more memories, and this was the perfect time while they're old enough to remember this stage, but then they'll still be, basically they'll grow up together, which is what I envisioned. So we're really excited with her and I'm loving the whole process. Of course, I'm the one that gets up with her in the middle of the night and takes her out of the bathroom every hour so she doesn't pee on the carpet, which she has many times. We're still learning, but she is honestly a great little puppy, and we're having a blast. And yeah, I'm trying my best to keep up on my knitting and not let it fall behind, because I do really enjoy my knitting. And I'll be honest, I have wanted to film a podcast for months, and I would tell myself, okay, this day I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get the kids situated with an activity so that they will be busy and I can film. And then the time would come and I would rather sit and knit, or I would rather, catch up on this chore, or things would just always happen and I wouldn't get around to it. But then last week I got a email from YouTube that said that if I didn't post soon, I would be demonetized. And I thought, no, I can't let that happen, because although I don't do it for the money, there's not a lot of money in my channel anyways, I worked hard to get it to that point, and I don't want to let that fall away. So it was kind of like the push I needed to make the time. And then this week my husband said, oh, well, I'm working at the summer camp 2 days this week. I can take the kids with me and you'll have the whole day to yourself. And I thought that would be the perfect time. And it worked out perfect with the puppy so that, you know, she can have some time to like get used to the house and everything without the kids being all over her right away. So it's been really nice. I do miss my kids though, but it helps knowing that they're with their dad and not just like out on their own, because I know he takes care of them. But yeah, I have also been really busy in the garden. I will probably try to put some footage in here of, I don't know that I have very many videos, but I do have tons of pictures of my garden. I actually, weird story, I went down to the garden today with Winnie. We went on a walk and went down to the garden, and I noticed that my tomato bush had gotten so heavy that it broke the tomato cage, or pulled the tomato cage out of the ground. I must not have had it deep enough, and it had fallen over. And so I picked it up and I was trying to like get it back into the ground. I can't do it. I probably could have, but I had Winnie on the leash and I didn't want her to like get into anything, so I kind of only had one hand and I couldn't get it back into the ground. And then I look, and a poor bunny rabbit must have been in the garden at the exact time that this tomato cage fell, because right there was a dead little bunny. And that's just crazy to me that the timing, I've never even seen a bunny in the garden. The garden is right off the side of our road, which is pretty busy, so the fact that there was a bunny in the garden to begin with was wild. And funny enough, it was in the carrot area. Although the carrots are in the ground. I don't know if they can dig, I'm sure they can probably dig them up, but anyways, poor thing. I guess it was that bunny's time to go, because what impeccable timing that the second it fell, it landed on this poor bunny. And as soon as I saw that, I thought, oh, well, I gotta get Winnie up to the house or she's gonna start messing with it. I didn't touch it. I'm waiting on my husband to get home so he can dispose of it, and we need to work in the garden because it's kind of a mess. And I've got to get that tomato cage figured out because the tomato bush is humongous and I don't want to lose all of my tomatoes. I'd like for them to stay healthy, so we got to figure out something with that. But yeah, hopefully I'll be back here again soon if I can keep up my knitting. I do really want to do some summer vlogs. I might try and do one of those next week. I just think they're fun. I don't get a ton of views on them, but I like to look back on them, especially when I can include my kids in them and use it as almost like a memory video. We watched the video from when we went to the beach a couple years ago. We watch that video all the time and they love to reminisce on it. So I might do some of that because it'll be a while before I have enough knitting to make a knitting podcast, but I still want to be active and I need to get better about posting regularly, because when I don't, apparently YouTube punishes you for that. That's all I've got for today. I will hopefully see you on a vlog very soon, and thanks for watching. Bye.